Welcome in everyone to episode 127 of Instigate Success, Building an ABA Franchise, the official podcast of your Hoosier State Instigators. Your host, as always, Jake Schoen, aka Jakey Muffins here. I know it's been a few weeks, and we've got some news to get caught up on, but we are back. It is almost the end of June now. Um, past halfway, yeah, past halfway in the year already and a few months away from the basketball season again. So again, we've got some stuff to get caught up on, and hopefully we get a little bit more regularly on this show back to normal. I should say. Um, I think we will be. So it's all up to the host if he shows up. But anyways, we've got episode 127 tonight. And I might as well just start off with the big news. It was posted over on our social media. If you haven't already seen it, we do have tryouts coming up in less than a month. Let's get that graphic up. Yeah, so we got that. We'll see. I can probably pull it up with it where it's not blocking that QR code too. But yeah, tryouts are going to be July 12th at 1 p.m. Best Choice Fieldhouse, still our home venue, same as last season. And that's going to be on a Sunday. So Sunday, July 12th. 1 p.m. If you're thinking about trying out for the Instigators to be a part of the ABA this season, go ahead and sign up now. You are going to get a discount by signing up ahead of time. Let me see if I can pull up. Yeah, let me switch over to Minotaur, as always, there on top of the news. So let's do this one instead. Let's see. Yeah, so that looks better. Same graphic over here with the QR code there. QR code, and again, you get that discount by signing up ahead of time. $40 for those that register ahead of time by scanning the QR, going to the site, and signing up there. And if you show up at the door, you're always welcome, but it is an additional $20. It's $60 at the door. So if you're even thinking about it, just go ahead and sign up now. Save yourself the extra $20. But you know that is how we get basically every player that's been on the team is through the tryouts. So if you want to be a part of the team, I would highly recommend that you get those tryouts, or go to those tryouts, and you can show what you got. If you think you've got the skills to be on the Instigators, we want to see what you got. So this is a showcase. Obviously, we're going to have our coaches out there. I don't think we've fully officially made the announcement, but I do expect our same coaching to be returning, and I think we're going to have some of our key players from last season that will be, obviously prospectively returning, are going to be out there as well. So they're going to help out. But each and every year, there's always new additions, new faces to the team, and we welcome them every year. So, how do we get those? By the tryouts. So, we hope to see you guys out there, and welcome some new players to the team. See what we've got, and each and every year we want to keep growing that player pool. When you grow the player pool, you have more talent. As your talent pool expands, you're going to get a better team. So, obviously, that's always the thought process with that. You have the bigger pool you have, the more that you have to choose from. So in theory, you're going to get more and more out of that each and every year. And we've seen from every year so far, year one to year two to year three, improvements. So year one to year two, obviously we had a little bit more stability with the coaching side and stuff. And then two to three, we had our best record. We made the playoffs for the first time. We won our first playoff game. So now we're looking to continue to build on that. Obviously, we don't just want to make the playoffs and win one game. We're looking to win the division. and we want to go as far as we can. If we can win the division, then we want to go out to Vegas. The championship this year is in Vegas. So that will be a very fun trip if we make that trip out there. Um, but that'll be something that we're going to be keeping track of throughout the season. And I believe the season's going to be October again as far as the start. So we've got a few more months until then. For July, though, we're going to have a lot of events coming up for an off-season month, I should say. So we've got the tryouts on the 12th. Again, that's at Best Choice Fieldhouse, our home venue, the one that we've been playing at for the past couple of years. And we're also working on returning back to um, it's not confirmed yet, but we're working on getting stuff together to return back to IRP and be involved back there again. And that would be at towards the end of July as well. So got a couple of things we're working on in that. And at the very end of July, if everything still goes as it's planned, our very first diecast, the one that was it's not our diecast, but it's Brayton Laster's diecast, will be scheduled to come out towards the end of the month. I believe it's going to be that last week of July. Those should be getting shipped out, and they will feature the Hoosier State Instigators logo on it, which is pretty crazy. I think we are probably, as far as I'm aware, the only ABA team that has their own official diecast coming out. So that's going to be awesome. And it's pretty cool. And actually, if it just reminds me, thinking of this, if you guys follow Brayton Laster, I've been slacking a little bit on our social media, but he has been, posting some stuff. He's doing, he's sponsored by Panini now, and he's been doing some card openings and stuff, and it's cool to see him, get his own cards. So we've got our very own, and maybe I'll make a post about this at some point. But our first player that has their official trading card, it's obviously he was our celebrity player this season, but he does have his very own batch of rookie cards coming out, and they're actually out now that you can get through the NASCAR. The new NASCAR cards that were released. So that's really cool to see. Obviously, and congratulations to him. That's a huge accomplishment. Obviously he's got his own race cards now, trading cards, and then he's going to have his very first diecast here, officially licensed diecast here, shortly. And then obviously, he was already the first ever celebrity player in Instigators history. And shout out to um, our other owners for picking up some of the slack on my end, getting this graphic together, posting it. So got that tryout again. That's going to be next month, July 12th on Sunday. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So you got 3 weeks to get your signups in, and then again, if you're not able to get that in ahead of time, you can always show up at the door. It's just an additional $20, so 60 at the door versus that 40 online. If you know anybody that would be interested, go ahead, shoot them the link, shoot them our socials, and get in touch with them. Let them know that this is our very first tryout for the upcoming season. I think typically we run about on average 3, but it's also always going to depend on what our roster looks like too. So if you want to get ahead of the game, the first tryout's always the best one to show up to, because when we take that first one, we are going to have some people that transition onto the active roster. Once we have more people on the roster, there's less spots. Less spots means that it's more difficult to get on the team. So if you sign up for that second one, you missed out on that first one, you don't have as much of a chance, obviously, just statistically speaking, to make the roster at that point. So there's that bit as well, and then it also gives us a little bit more tape on you too. Like if you're somebody that impresses us, but it's not quite enough to get that contract after the first tryout. If you're able to return to the second tryout and improve, that's something we like to see. You might be able to get that contract that second time too. So, in those situations as well, obviously beneficial to be in the first one so that you have that tape and familiarity with the team in the second one. But yeah, so sign up for those if you guys are even remotely considering being a part of the instigators this year. That is where we're going to be getting our roster. So that is a few weeks away. There's been a couple of other things announced as far as within the ABA. Again, I'm going to use Minotaur. I'm always going to shout them out, Minotaur Media, for keeping up on top of everything. So another team announced their schedule. So we've got the Indiana Legends announced their schedule this week. And, okay. Well, I don't know. I thought maybe it'd be a little bit different. Okay. So it's full screen. We could do it that way. So Indiana Legends, looking through their schedule here, got an interesting schedule. It looks like obviously we're still working on ours. We haven't publicly announced ours yet. I think a couple of teams that are scheduled to play against might have already leaked a couple of our games. But as far as our full schedule, it is not out yet. Um, the Legends, it looks like they've got their schedule pretty interestingly laid out, strategically, I feel like, with a series of home and away games rather than, the alternating back and forth. So it looks like they start on the road for their first two games against two new teams in the ABA. Naptown Pirates, a local team as well, and the Port Huron Wolves up in Michigan. Then they come home for it looks like a four-game home stretch on October 31st is one of the games. That's a Halloween game. That's a Saturday. That's fun. I wonder if we're maybe let's see. I wonder if we'll have a Halloween game. If we do, I'm gonna have to show up in a costume. That'd be fun. But anyways, they play the Shuckers. Shuckers are now in their third season, second season, in the competitive, for the playoff counting as far as that goes. But Shuckers, we see the improvement from them last season, and then the Legends, especially. That's another team that obviously we're looking at their schedule, made that huge jump from last season. From the season prior, as far as the talent that they had on their rosters. The Shuckers had a lot of former Instigators players that we've seen last season. Several guys that were on the team throughout the year. I believe Yogi was on the team at one point. Dylan Ware, um, believe Chuck and Joe too. There was a few guys there. So like I said, we've seen their team improve as well. Then they got a game against the Louisville Pros, always a tough physical team. River City Gamblers, not 100% sure if they've matched up against them prior. I don't think we've faced off against them. Windy City Native Hawks, I believe that's another new team to wrap up their November schedule. Then they come back home in December, or they go back on the road, not come back home. They go on the road again in December, and they're going to have a two-game series. It looks like against the Shuckers. Then they've got two home games before most of or before Christmas time. They got the Middletown Maulers, which I believe are a rebranded team, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess we will see as we get closer to the season when it comes to that. They might be a new team, but I think they might also be a rebranded team. Not 100% sure there. Then you got the Steel City Yellow Jackets, the division winners from last season, traveling all the way from Pittsburgh to Indiana. So that is a bit of travel for Steel City. And Then to finish out the year on New Year's Eve, they've got a game against the Louisville Pros on the road in Louisville. So it looks like they'll be spending their New Year's in Louisville. And then they got the couple more road games against teams that they've already got the home series there. The River City Gamblers, Winnie City Navy Hawks, Native Hawks, and then they've got a couple more home games against local teams, the Shuckers and the Naptown Pirates. Then the two teams that are coming there in December, they go on the road for in not January, February. Middletown Maulers and the Steel City Yellow Jackets. And then what really cool is they have two games against the Gym Rats, the team from Japan. So that is really interesting. I haven't had the chance to see them in person, but it's pretty unique opportunity to have um, games against the team traveling all the way that far. And then it looks like they wrap up their regular season in March against the Port Huron Wolves. Um, as far as it looks, I don't think we have any games scheduled against them. But we've seen, obviously each and every year it varies throughout the season, so we can fill in as needed. Um, and as far as the games, actually, this is over on Minotaur. On their page here, they are going to be live streaming most, or I guess half of these games. They'll be covering most of these games for the Legends, all of their home games. They've also got the games against the Shuckers and Naptown Pirates. They'll be streaming for them as well. So a lot of different ways to catch their games coming up through Minotaur. Um, that's what we got. Let's go through here, see if there's any other big news. And it looks like I was right. The last time we had it, the website update was with the help of Minotaur Media. For the ABA site, and a lot of these teams are announcing tryouts now. So obviously, we're part of that. We're getting our tryouts out, going, and just so you guys see, this is our page. When you scan that QR code, it's going to get you over here to the 26-27 season tryouts. And again, that's at Best Choice Fieldhouse. Sign up ahead of time online for that $40. That is that discount price. Um, and that is, again, Sunday, July 12th at 1 p.m. It's coming up here in just a few weeks. And let's go over to the ABA site, see if we find any news over there. So again, this is the updated ABA site. Can see we got one of our games leaked on there, October 17th, it looks like. But anyways, you got their updated site here. And this is an interesting team. Look at this. Maryland Rim Reapers set to join 2027. That's a really interesting logo. You got a dog. Yeah, this is a crazy logo. So you got yourself a dog here with some it's a human-like dog wearing some, looks like tattered jorts with some Nikes on there. He got that like Freddy Krueger style going on, with the striped sweater and the glove. You got the barbed wire, man. That's crazy. But yeah, man, that's a really interesting logo. That's something like I would put together. But anyways, that's cool. Rim Reapers, obviously play on the Grim Reaper, but Rim Reapers got that in Maryland for 2027. Oh yeah, and then if you guys didn't remember from last time, they got the AI feature on here. You can just put, like, hey, let's put the be great, instigate. Let's see what happens. Oh no, look, it did work last time. Now it's not working. I wonder if we got to go on that page. Let's go on the team page. If we go on the team page, is it gonna work? Not go off. No, they're gonna let me down. We had it on record last time. Let's see if we got to go on the division. Let's see if it works now. It looks like they got us. They got me playing this time. So we're gonna have to reach out, get IT on this, get this fixed, and show them the footage from last time, because it looks like B Grade Instigate is no longer working. Let's see. Okay, so we came up there, came up that way. Now let's try one more time. Look at that. It's not. Let's do the hashtag B Grade Instigate. Uh, See, it worked last time, and then I go and try to show it off again. It didn't work this time. But anyways, they got the new site. You got all the teams up here. Um, you can scroll through and go through, but they got all the teams, all the links, all the updates and whatnot. You go on each site. And they got the AI chat, which was cool last time, but now he's not as cool with me now. So you know that's how it works sometimes. But that is the updates that I've got for right now. Um, Obviously, sign up for those tryouts. Sign up for those tryouts. That is in 3 weeks. So that's coming up here in just a little bit. Um, And from there, obviously, we're gonna have more and more stuff coming up as we ramp up towards the regular season. But that's gonna be the very first trial for the upcoming season. It's our very first like big step, I feel like, for the off season at this point. And then once we have tryouts, then we're gonna start announcing, signings, returning players, so on and so forth. And then we're gonna have some other stuff coming up here in July. And over the next couple of months, we're going to have some stuff we're working on before we ramp up into the regular season. And then obviously, we're going to have our schedule out here um, in a little bit. And once we have that schedule out, then you guys will be able to plan out for the season. Uh, and obviously, at that point, get season tickets. So that is what we've got coming up. Um, hopefully next week I'll have more of a full episode put together. Things are moving a little crazy on my end, so that is why I've had the help on the social media side too. And I apologize that I have not been keeping up on that for all of our loyal fans out there. But we're going to try to get that ship righted here in the near future. But anyways, I think that is going to be it for tonight's episode. Again, it's a short one. But thank you all for joining us for tonight, episode 127 of Instigate Success, Building an ABA Franchise, the official podcast of your Hoosier State Instigators. As always, until next time, be great and instigate.